Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing kind of a tune-up on the 04 Golf TDI. We're going to be doing valve cover gaskets, an oil change, and an engine flush to that. So we've never done an oil change video on this channel before, so I figured that'd be really good for you guys to see. Alright, so today we're going to be putting some liquid moly engine flush inside of the TDI. I have no idea what it does, but it's from Germany and so is the car, so we're going to use it. Cancer and repro. Now, for real though, liquid moly engine flush is similar to, if you are more used to the gas engines, similar to like a seafoam oil additive. What it's going to do is it's going to clean out any of the gunk and sludge inside the engine. What you're going to do is you're going to put it down with the oil and run the car at idle for about 10 minutes. We're gonna shake this first. Go ahead and shake it up good, just like a glass of orange juice. Not a glass, that would go everywhere. And then you try to figure out how this is supposed to push tabs, just like a medicine bottle. And then you... Mercy. Pretty, please! Oh! I'm going whole bottle. That oil cap back on. And we're gonna go start up the car. We're gonna let it run for roughly 10 minutes, just at idle. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're getting underneath to remove the oil cap. I'm just, well, not the oil cap, the oil drain plug. And I'm just setting this bad boy down there so we don't leak anything. Penetrating oil, please.
Schmidt just loosened it.
Start making these videos in a slight vlog type fashion, solely so that way if things change, it's a smooth transition into my filming style. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what we're talking. Were you zooming in on my nuts?
Hopefully that thing's up in the middle.
Woo! It's not as bad as the Subaru. This actually is flowing. The Subaru is just like boom. Don't need that thing to mix that. Alright. We've already loosened up the oil cap itself, so this is just kind of sitting there. Now we're going to go ahead and take off the oil filter. Now that is located right in front of the engine on these BEWs. Same with the ALH, and I'm pretty sure most Volkswagen cars, they've kept that oil filter right up here, unlike your typical gas engines underneath. So we're going to loosen this up. That will also allow for better airflow to get all the oil out.
You should explain what that fancy tool was you were just using on the end. 14 flute, 74 millimeter.
Alright, so this is is flute even a word? What are you talking about?
Flute.
Oh, okay. So this is a 14 flute, 72 millimeter oil cap remover tool thingy. So if you have this type of oil filter, you're gonna want that for taking it off. Now, if you don't have this or know where to get it, you can use like a typical oil wrench. You're just gonna dig into the plastic because that's all this is made of. So if you don't know where to get these, there'll be a link down in the description for one of these. So, you're going to want a rag, not specifically one that your buddy just blew his nose in as he just handed to me. This is a cartridge style oil filter. Cartridge style oil filter. So, we're going to pull this out. It is going to be nice and nasty. And we're just going to get rid of this. Just like that. Perfect. Nice and clean.
Separate the boys from the men right there.
Get out of here. Now, this is a man filter. All right, so there are two O-rings on this filter piece that we have to remove because When you get a new filter, they send you both with. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off, which if you have the proper tools, that is awesome. I do not, so I am just using some needle nose.
Traditionally, you'd want to use a small pick.
Yes, I just do not have one, so. All right, here's that one. All right, take a little bit of oil, rub it right around. All right, so on our cartridge filter, there is a top and bottom. They are marked, so as you can see right here, open top. The bottom doesn't have anything, so this is the top of the filter, that's the bottom of the filter. Go ahead and set this down in here.
Push it in.
Does it push in?
Yep.
Sorry.
You'll feel it like latch onto it.
I'm also learning how to do this right now, so. Maybe?
Should.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
No, it's not coming off. So yeah, make sure you push that down to where. Yeah. There it goes. So, get this bad boy back on here. It is 25 Newton meters, or as the Germans say, Newton tight. Keep in mind it's plastic, so don't go ham. All right, so we are about to put the new drain plug in. When I say new drain plug, my oil change kit comes with a new plug. If you have a German-made car, so we're talking like Volkswagen, Audi, and Mini Cooper, stuff like that, there's a website called FCP. That's where you can kind of make that initial investment of my oil change kit, my brake pads, rotors, all that stuff. The first time you buy it, second time you buy it, you send the old stuff back, you get refunded on all of it. So you will get new parts, such as the oil cap. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that with a brand new one, and drain plug.
We're not sponsored in any way.
Not at all, we just appreciate FCP. Just having a fun time. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, here we go. So with these TDIs, supposedly you can go up to 10 to 12,000 miles in an oil change. Now, someone like me, I've always had gassers every like 3,000 miles, and that's even a little bit early sometimes. Some people go around 5, but when you're running off of like half the cylinders in the car that it's supposed to have, usually it's about 3,000 miles. But I don't know, we'll see. I think it'll probably get a good 5 to 7 out. We are not gonna put the new oil in because I'm missing half of the video. We are gonna be doing the valve cover gasket now, which is gonna require taking apart everything. So I've got the 10 millimeter on the ratchet. Now we are gonna go ahead and remove this cover. Now it's just gonna be 10 millimeter bolts all the way around, along with some clips holding on the cover for the timing belt. We also have to take off this wonderful tubing up here.
Perfect.
My cars are pretty special. All right, let's go ahead and take off this cover. I'm done talking. Yep. What strong people got to do to work on the cars. I wave my ratchet back and forth, I wave my ratchet back and forth, I wave my ratchet. I'm not exactly a freak of nature. I'm just a freak in nature. There you go. Alright, so the second clip for that cap.
It's probably not visible, but it's way back under here.
Sorry for my amazing camera skills. Hold on, it's in cinematic super slow mode.
Did you want to get that? I just lifted it off.
Oh, it's really blurry right now. I also hit some buttons on accident. Sorry for my super amazing camera skills. No, it's like insanely blurry.
Sorry for my super amazing camera skills.
Should. There we go. And that should be all we need to get it off, because it's, yeah. Just have to remove it from, basically this, there's a little clip right here that goes over top of the cover, and to get the cover off, you just had to remove that. So that can sit right there. You do not have to remove that whole thing. Ready for this? Oh. Look at that. Ooh, how much stuff's gonna be in it? A lot. Let's find out.
I'm trying to pull it off.
Yeah. It should just pop off.
That's not the right side.
What? Oh, nice. Liquid inside of it?
As long as you can't pour it out, but no sludge.
Yep. Perfect.
That's from the EGR system.
We are pulling the EGR. Hose is taken off. EGR is right here. There should just be these two bolts holding that in, but there's also one more Allen, which is underneath here that I'm trying to get to. It should be a 5. I'm thinking that's the only way that we're gonna get that last bolt that's literally just right back here. So, it's supposed to be a 5. Where did you get the number 5 from? Hey, look, it's a 5. Cool. We'll see if that does something. Ah! We're geniuses over here. All right. Look at that. Yep, that's all that was holding that on. Oh, okay. No news. All right, check that out.
Look at all that nice sludge.
Crap on a stick. All right. I'm going to say that is off. That is not enough. All right, that's out now. All right, so we've got all the bolts in theory out. I hope. Oh yeah, we do. All right, so now we are going to get rid of this guy. Which I need to take your tool here. Which, how does this come off? You're gonna enjoy editing that. Okay. Oh! Wow, that was scary. All right. Why would I take that off? All right, another forewarning. Anytime you're working on your taking off heads here, it is very pertinent. You don't drop anything, get any kind of gunk down inside the engines. We're opening up access to the cylinders. So there's something still holding on. So, I feel like that one of these is still tight or something. Did I get that last one over here? Nope. There it is. That's out of the way. This is not gonna want to come off nicely. I hear a bunch of junk. I do not want it falling in. Right. This is also gonna take a 5mm Allen. We're gonna take these off as well, so that way this cover will just lift straight up by sliding it the way that I would have to get under this. I can risk dropping just other junk inside of the engine. I do not want to do that. This should just be 3 Allens. It's underneath there. It is. Spin a full circle with this one. I hope this one does not fall. Now this should come off, maybe not. Cool. What's still holding that on there? I don't understand what's holding this on. Any ideas?
In typical Volkswagen fashion, the master has to step in every now and again. But for real though.
I'm still a GM guy at heart, so I'm still learning about all this stuff with you guys.
So Jared was right in the part of taking off the 3 bolts that held it in. It obviously is not just it bolts on it seals a hole, so you just have to jiggle it and work it out because it does seal itself with the O-ring there, and then obviously with as much sludge as you can see on the end of this thing, it also made an extra seal, which is why it was so hard to get off.
If you want to hold it in place of where it actually goes. So yeah, basically, yeah, that goes down inside of the EGR there, so it just had to be pulled out. I thought it was flush, it wasn't, so.
Well, and this also, you can see where the ring is. This sticks in to a back part of the intake, or it actually lines up in there. So it's not just, it's sitting in, this goes into a groove in the back. So you also have to line it up and put it back in.
All right, so in theory now, we should be able to lift this guy right off. So
My hand's already trashed.
you might as well see if you can pull that off. And it should come straight off. Look at that. Maybe. Something's still holding on that side. There it is. All right, oh, here. All right, so this is the point, like I was mentioning. You want to be extremely careful about making sure that nothing falls down inside of here.
So one thing you want to do when you're replacing the valve cover itself is make sure you clean the surface where the gasket will be touching. If there is a bunch of buildup along the edge, you can use a razor blade and make sure you scrape away from the internal components. Multiple pieces of the EGR that we took off, we will wait to clean until after the valve cover is back on there because we do not want any of that amazing sludge falling inside.
So we're gonna go ahead and pull the old valve cover gasket off. Now the valve cover gasket, unlike most of your gasket cars, actually sits on the cover, not on the actual motor. So we're just gonna pull this off. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and clean this extremely well using probably both air and just parts cleaner. And just clean all the junk off of this so we can get a perfect seal when we put our new one on. So. And the strugs. All right, so we got all this in. looking so perfect. I get to put all of our bolts back in. And the only two different bolts are the ones that go through the top of the cover. And those two are big guys. They're all big guys. And how is this supposed to work exactly? Just like that. Alright, so got the new valve cover seal on there, and what we're going to do is take a little bit of oil and just rub right around the edges so when we put it on, it makes a better seal. So just got a little bit. All right, so we are going to follow this pattern here for how to tighten it. This is the OEM setup of which bolts tighten first to the last. So we are going to go ahead and do that now. All right, so it looks like the first one.
I know, it's going to be something.
The first one is right now. The first one! It's going to be right here. See if we can get to start going in. Right here. And we're not tightening these all the way. We're gonna do it in the order that it says to get them, for the most part, started. We're probably gonna go about 60% tight. And then we're gonna go back and hit every single one in that same order again to actually tighten them.
The middle front.
3 is middle front, yep. Back. Nickel back. What? From here?
Yep.
This one is not bad. The sucky one's under here. Seven. What the heck? That's right in my eye. 9. 9. In case I didn't show this before, this guy right back here underneath the EGR, I grabbed the really small drive with a, again, 10 millimeter, but also with a knuckle. And that was the best way to get into there. Here. And number 12, or 11. 12 is right next, up here. 13 is this one here. Nope, right. Right? Yep. Now that we've got everything snug, we're gonna go ahead and tighten everything now. And so it only calls for 7 foot-pounds torque, which is not a lot. We are going into a plastic cover. So we're just gonna go till it's snug and get it a little tight and call it good. So same order, this is the first one right over here. Tight, and we're gonna call that good right there. There it is. Good. 3 is from middle. Broke the plastic. Are you kidding me right now? What did I just break? Yep, I broke the grommet down in there. All right, so
That wasn't even visible.
I did the, I would say unexpected, but at this point it's expected. And when I was tightening down our bolts, this guy right here broke. So I gotta drill that out, and hopefully it comes out nice enough that the threads are still there. And I just have to get a new bolt from Volkswagen. Easy stuff, easy stuff. So this video might be to be continued. So this is gonna be quite the process, but look at that. This does not happen very often. I might be celebrating a little early, but
Just don't scratch the surface.
I already have.
Make sure you're slow down and go for a tight grip.
That is extremely good. Oh my gosh. That's impressive. All right. Now we just gotta figure out where to find that bolt. So here we go again.
All right, we will give you a call Wednesday morning when those are in.
Awesome, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, got as far as getting the new gasket on that cover piece and snapped a bolt. So those bolts are probably either just a little old or I'm just a little stronger than I thought. So luckily, this is not gonna happen all the time. Get out of here. This is my shot. So, I was able to extract the bolt just using a knife and a screwdriver. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to drill that out very carefully. So, the rest of the video is gonna be filmed super professionally from myself on Wednesday night. So, no.
1 week later.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put all of this back together. It has been a couple days. I'm just filming this myself. So I got the new bolt. We're gonna go ahead and put that back on. Just a tip for the wise, please make sure anytime you leave your valves open like this, like we got the valve cover off, you do cover it. And that's not just talking about using the hood. We put a plastic garbage bag over top of this just to make sure no dust and debris got inside of there. We did the same thing with the actual valve cover itself. We went ahead and put it inside of a plastic trash bag just to keep any dust and crap out of there. So make sure you keep your parts and your motor protected. You do not want anything down inside of there. So here we go. All right, so all 12 bolts are in there now. We've also got the fuel rails hooked back up. For those, if you remember, they just slide in underneath the bolt on 1, 2, and 3. So there's just a little U piece that slides in there and you put the bolt on top of it. So those are in now. Now we just have to put our EGR back together and fill it up with oil and we can give it a start. Drop the bolt. Oh crap. Not today, Satan. Whew. That's close. I'll wind up. Let's try that again. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. Trying to film and do this at the same time is not my cup of tea. All right, so underneath the EGR, there is a couple, there's two. You've got two harnesses you're working with. One of those goes underneath, one of them goes up top. That one here we can match with, obviously that size right there. This guy right here goes underneath. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that in before we get too far here, and I can't get my hands under there, so plug that in. That'll go wherever it needs to go to be out of the way. I think that works right there. So we can go ahead and plug this in too. Now all we got to do is hook up that hose that goes from here to there. Hook up the hose first, and then we've got our little bracket. So those are just going to be 10 millimeter as well. Let's try every tool we got here. Let's try this one. Maybe this one will make it easier. Maybe not. There we go. Just trying to find the easiest tool. I got about 372 different tools in here. Might as well use the one that's the easiest. There we go. Now that's on there nice and good. These two are both 10 millimeters. If you skip to the end of the video just to see how hard it is, and you're skipping the taking it apart process, there is a 5 mil Allen down there. So there's two up top that are 10 millimeters, then it's an Allen underneath. So now we just gotta get this hose grabby guy right on top of there and we're good. Which Schmidt, lovely Schmidt left his hose grabby guy thing. I really don't know how this works. Oh, cool. So here we go. Get on there. Just like that. I think we're on. I think we're good. I need to get me a set of these. Alright, got that clamp on there good. Should not go anywhere now. Always make sure you say that when you're tying something down on a trailer. Otherwise, legend has it will go somewhere. It's all back together. It could have gone a lot smoother if I hadn't have broken a bolt last week, but hey, that's how it goes. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye out on this for the next couple of days. You should do this yourself anytime you're working on your car, even down to doing an oil change. Make sure you're checking the parts that you're putting on to make sure they're not leaking in the next couple days. So I'll be checking on this daily for the next like week, and then it'll turn into like a monthly thing just to make sure we're not springing any leaks anywhere. So do that yourself. Good, helpful reminder. On top of that, keep an eye out for the next video. I got a couple good ideas for what I'll be doing. Just one of those as a teaser. Might be doing some exhaust work on the Bug, so we'll see. Otherwise, it'll be a surprise. So keep an eye out for that. Until then, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. So hopefully this helped somebody out there. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.